Hey, welcome back to my channel. This is your girl, Miss Black Expat, and it feels great to be back in front of the camera. I really missed being in front of the camera. I missed posting on YouTube, and I missed talking to all of you all through my comments, through my blog, and through my email. So today, I'm going to tell you 5 reasons why you should network with people who live in the country that you're planning to visit or have either visited there so that you can have the best experience ever. Last week, I took a trip to Kigali, and it was probably the most last-minute thing ever. I planned it out a couple of weeks before, like I'd actually juggled it around in my mind, and I was just contemplating whether or not I should even go. So maybe a week prior, I started reaching out to people that I knew had either traveled there or knew friends there or had work relations there. And I just started asking them questions about their experiences, about things that they did, what happened, how did they feel, how were they treated. And believe it or not, when you put yourself out there and extend yourself and inquire about things, people are, so much willing to help you in any way that they can, based off of their, individual experiences. So, because I was able to reach out to quite a few people, I was able to get quite a bit of information. So, the number one thing that really helped me was obtaining a good driver. And when you're planning a trip to a country that you're not really familiar with, you need somebody like a guide that is able to show you around, that knows the city very well, knows where to go, what to do, and it's not going to overcharge you, and it's going to be very fair and reasonable, flexible, timely, and dependable. And so I reached out to a good friend of mine who actually goes to work quite often to Kigali, and she was able to give me the name of this really good driving company. If it wasn't for this driver in particular, I don't know if my experience in Rwanda would have been the same, because this guy literally took me everywhere that I needed to go, and is very knowledgeable about the city. And it just was really, really helpful to have somebody local who knew the language and, who was very experienced, driver, very safe, take me around, and it really, really helped me out a lot. The next thing that's very, very crucial is knowing where exactly to go. Now with Kigali, it's a very small city, and there's particularly key things that you have to see when you go to Kigali, such as the Genocide Museum, the Memorial, Hotel Rwanda, eating some really good local Rwandese food, going to some of the other natural sites like Lake Kivu, or even some of the national parks, and even visiting some of the other local areas. Kigali has a very good and abundant, thriving art scene, and if you have somebody that's very knowledgeable about these areas, that's a win-win. I reached out to some people that lived there or had lived there before, and they were able to give me some really key insights on what to expect at the museum, some restaurants to try, and it was just an amazing time. I'm telling you, I have a video coming up after this one that I'm in the process of editing now, showing you my experiences, and hopefully if you get to East Africa, that you have a chance to visit as well. The next place is hotels. So I was asking around different people, where's a good place to stay? Now mind you, I'm a female by myself with my child, and I need to feel comfortable, I need to feel safe, and I need to feel that I am in an environment that is conducive to making me feel welcome. So I was given several suggestions of hotels, and I ended up staying at one in particular called the 2000 Hotel. It's in the middle of downtown Kigali. It was an excellent experience. The people were very friendly. The food was amazing, and it was very centrally located. And that, my friends, is all because I was given a reference from a good friend of mine. The other thing that I would say is really, really good to have, and you can take this with a grain of salt, is other people's personal perspectives and about their experience. Now, I'm saying take it with a grain of salt because your experience is obviously going to be different than my experience, but it is good to know how you're received somewhere, or how you felt something was, and maybe you can be able to kind of match up my experiences to how how your experiences will be in some aspects. But it is good to hear from someone before you go to a place, just to kind of get the feel for what to expect. So I was able to do that for quite a few of the places that I visited. One in particular was Lake Kivu. I heard from several people to go to Lake Kivu because it's a very nice, beautiful natural attraction in Rwanda, and it would be a nice place to take my son. So I took everybody's recommendations. I went out to Lake Kivu and I had an amazing time, just literally sitting on the beach. The weather wasn't all that hot, but just sitting there enjoying the beautiful scenery, the beautiful people, the great food, and just kind of get my head out of that city life just for like one day. Now, the last and final thing is living like a local. So if you can make a contact with somebody that's actually a local person that is from that particular place that you're visiting, that is like a double thumbs up, because you want to see how they're living as locals. Like for me, I don't always like to go to a place and be considered a tourist. I want to actually go to where the local spots are. Where do the locals eat? Where do they hang out? What are some of the things that they like to do? Because I feel that I get a true, authentic, and genuine experience that way, as opposed to just going to the specific spots that are, on TripAdvisor.com. So I prefer really, really connecting with somebody local to kind of help me. And that can easily happen when you reach out to your network, to your contacts who have developed relationships in Rwanda or wherever you're going. And then once you get to your designated place, you make sure you get at least one or two contacts of people there that you feel are reliable, reasonable, friendly, safe, legit, consistent, and you keep in contact with them so that you can help the next person when they go to this said destination, or whenever you decide to return again. So these are the reasons why I think it's so important to connect with people before you take a trip, so that you can have a more abundant experience, being in the know and kind of getting some information about the place before you get there, and having some connections with people and things and places to see, hotels to stay at, restaurants to eat in, what types of foods to go in, what places to stay away from. Is so resourceful and beneficial, especially if you're new to a place and you're traveling alone, and if you're traveling in a very short period of time. I only had a couple of days, and within that short period of time, I feel that I had an amazing time. I had an amazing experience. I got everything that I want. My trip was very organized, despite the fact that I literally booked my trip pretty much a day before I left, and everything really worked out. So if you're planning on going to Rwanda, make sure to hit me up, and I'll give you as much information and details that I can. Stay tuned, because my next video is actually going to show you some of the places that I went. I captured a lot of video, a lot of pictures, and some personal accounts about some things that I did while I was in Rwanda. So if you are planning a trip there, please reach out to me and I can help you in the best way that I can. The same for Uganda. A lot of you have reached out to me about your interest in traveling to Uganda, and I'm so thankful that I have inspired you in some way to even consider Uganda. It's a beautiful place. I mean, especially if you're of African descent, just to come to the continent, to come and experience the beauty for yourself. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you in the next video. Nah, 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 come on.